Hey y'all, it's Missniecytv and I'm here to review for Zatima Season 4, Episode 15. The episode picks up where it left off and Fatima has found Angela laying on the ground in her home, so Fatima immediately calls the ambulance to let them know that she's not breathing and to get to the house quick. The dispatcher asks Fatima a couple questions and Fatima does let her know that there was an injection. A few minutes pass and Angela becomes conscious again and she's trying to tell Fatima something and Fatima finally makes it out that Angela is saying that it's her heart. She tells the dispatcher that she believes that Angela is having a heart attack and she tells them to get to the house quick. Weight loss injections and weight loss pills have very bad side effects and it's sad that Angela had to learn the hard way. Over at Zach and Fatima, Zach is still there discussing and playing with the guys and Zach does ask Bryce about the cameras and he's like, are you sure they work and nobody will be able to hack into them? Bryce is like, after what happened with Angela, I made sure that these cameras are very high secure. Zach is like, I'm not worried about her hacking into Deja's, I'm just worried about her hacking into ours. So apparently Deja has cameras at her home too. The same website that Angela was on, Deja's on it too, because Nate is like, I have a subscription and all you're gonna see is her clapping her cheeks and doing her makeup. So she's okay. Then they start talking about involving Malachi in the plan and Bryce is looking lost because he doesn't know who Malachi is. So they fill him in, and Bryce is like, yeah, you should definitely involve him. Zach is like, I want to involve him, but I don't know if I should tell Fatima about it. Nate and Tony are like, you should not tell her. And they're like, because if you tell her, she's going to get her feelings and all this other. Nate is like, she kept a secret from you, so it's time for you to do the same. Zach is like, wait a minute, she only kept that secret to keep me out of jail. He has the nerve to say Fatima's the reason why all this started. No, Leslie's the reason why all this started because she can't control her anger and obsession with Fatima. Let's be for real. Nate is like, if you need to learn how to play dumb, I can teach you because I do it with Lori all the time. Zach is like, you can't tell me nothing about marriage, so you know way that your marriage is going. Zach has Bryce his opinion, and of course Bryce had to get all giddy and stuff, and Zach is like, stop being giddy and tell me what you really think. Bryce is like, I think you should be honest with her and tell her everything. Bryce is like, y'all have a serious relationship and y'all about to have a child on the way and about to be married, and keeping secrets in a marriage is never good. Bryce basically tells Zach, you hate it when Fatima keeps secrets from you, so why would you do it to her? Nate continues to it, and Zach said it, and then this is when Zach loses me. He's like, I'm the man, I'm the leader, and Fatima's just gonna have to follow me. Nathan even had to tell him that if you keep doing that, I'm the man, I'm the leader type of stuff, no woman is gonna want to listen to you, and it's never gonna turn out good. Zach is like, okay. Zach comes up with a solution. He's like, I'm gonna tell Fatima, but after I call Malachi. And I'm like, even though Malachi works for the FBI, I still wouldn't trust it, seeing that he's still in love with Fatima and wants to get her back. You don't know that conversation that he had with Angela, and he said he would do anything that it took to get Fatima back. During the conversation, Zach gets a call from Fatima, and she basically lets him know that she's at the hospital. And Zach is like, are you okay? Is it the baby? Fatima's like, no. Angela's here because she had a heart attack. So once Zach gets on the phone, he announces to everybody what happened, and Bryce immediately gets up and he walks. The guys decide to immediately follow after Bryce, and Nate is like, so you gonna take the weapons with you? Zach is like, no, but on his way out the door, he does grab the gun and he puts it in his pants. Some time passes, and of course, Bryce makes it to the hospital first, so when he gets there, he sees Fatima. Fatima gives him a hug, and he immediately asks, is Angela okay? Is she alright? Fatima's like, Angela's stable. Then Fatima asks, where's Zach? And Bryce is like, he's right behind me. So everybody comes in, and he's like, she's too young to be having heart attacks. Bryce is like, yeah, she was so healthy, this just came out of nowhere. Fatima's like, well, it didn't come out of nowhere. They're like, what do you mean? Fatima shows the injection, and they're like, what's that? She's like, it's a weight loss drug. And Bryce is like, this is all my fault. They're like, how? He's like, the hack. Fatima's like, she was upset about it, but I don't think she was this upset. Bryce is like, well, I did everything I could to take the comments down online, but she was reading them, and I guess she felt like she had to change herself. Bryce is like, this is all my fault. This is all my fault. If I didn't install those cameras, none of this would have happened. Tony's like, social media is just an evil place filled with evil people. The negative side to social media is that misery loves company, and most of the people that leave negative comments and hateful comments like that have nothing going on for themselves, so they just want to make other people feel bad. This is when the doctor comes in, and I'm like, this must be the only doctor at that house. This is when the doctor comes in, and she thanks Fatima for being there and calling the ambulance, because if she didn't, it would have been the other way. She also lets them know that Angela's been having many heart attacks that led to this one, and they're trying to do everything in their powers to make sure that she doesn't have a big one. And the doctor also lets him know that Angela's been requesting to see Fatima. And Bryce is like, you sure she's that me? How stable is she? The doctor's like, well, she just had a heart attack. So Fatima and Bryce go back to talk to Angela, and of course Fatima's giving her all the love and be like, girl, you scared me, right? So she tells Bryce to leave the room so her and Angela can talk. Angela's like, uh-oh, am I in trouble? Because she could see on Fatima's face that it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. So when Bryce leaves, Fatima's like, you lucky I can't do nothing in this hospital. He's basically like, why are you even doing this? Angela's like, I tried it once and I didn't think that there would be a risk and I'd be okay. Angela, all things that look good to you are never good for you. Then they have a real deep conversation. Angela's like, I never thought that I'd be deserving of love. All those comments got to my head. I'm used to being called big girl, but those comments were pretty harsh. So I felt like I had to change myself. She's like, but also I felt like I'm lonely now. You and Zach are starting a family and I'm about to have your own family and I'm going to be lonely. And I've also been lying to myself and everybody around me that I don't want love. But I see what you have and I want that. She's like, I've been even lying to Bryce that I don't want to be with him and I never stopped loving him. Fatima's like, well, that man is crazy about you and clearly you're still in love with him, so maybe I could give it a try. Andrew's like, I would, but I still can't get past the fact that he called me a fetish. Fatima's like, I understand that, but maybe y'all could try to move past that. Fatima, girl, if somebody calls me a fetish, I'm never moving past that. I don't care what you say or how much love I still have for the person. In the back of my mind, I must still think, are they with me for real, for me, or is it because I'm a fetish? Everybody on the outside could clearly see that she was still in love with Bryce. I don't know why she sat there and lied to herself, even when she was trying to be with Sean. Fatima also tells Angela that self-love starts within and not the other way around. You have to love yourself from the inside out. She's like, you gotta learn to love every part of you. And Angela's like, I do. Then she's like, just to let you know, if you do this again, I'm gonna kill you myself. She basically hit her with the Ike Turner line. This is when Bryce comes in and he's scared to get close to Angela, but Angela tells him that he could come close to her. And Bryce tells her that she didn't have to change anything about herself, but if she wanted to, she just has to be careful. And Angela's like, I know that. Angela's like, I know that, and I feel like a fool. Bryce is like, you shouldn't feel like a fool. Angela's like, you can't tell me how to feel, basically. And then Bryce is like, I could tell you how I feel. Bryce is like, I love you, Angela. And Angela's like, I love you too. But I have to focus on me and my recovery right now before anything else. Bryce is like, I totally understand that. And that's when the doctor comes in. The doctor asks Angela how she's feeling. Angela's like, I feel all right. The doctor's like, well, you're going to have a few weeks of recovery. And I'm going to need you to see a counselor. To be honest, Angela should have started seeing a counselor before this even got to this point, but I digress. Bryce speaks up and he's like, I'm going to help Angela through her recovery. And the doctor's like, oh, such a good boyfriend. And Angela starts to speak like he's not my boyfriend. Then she switches it to, yeah, he is. The doctor catches it and she's like, okay, I just want you to get some rest. And then the doctor leaves. In the waiting room, Fatima comes out. The guys ask her how Angela's doing. She's like, she's talking, but she's still a little weak. But she's getting back to herself. That's when Zach asks Fatima how she's doing. She's like, I'm alright, the baby is kicking me though, and I'm hungry. And then that's when Zach gets an alert on his phone about Leslie being in the house. Zach is immediately like, I'm gonna go get her. Nate is like, that's right now. And Zach is like, yes, that's right now. Back over at Zach and Fatima's house, we see Leslie in the house. She got all black on. She's looking at the weapons that Zach and everybody left on the table. Then she sits down. She plays with the gun that she picks up. Then she goes over to Zach and Fatima's picture. She slams that on it. Then she goes upstairs and she sees all the baby stuff and she ruins all the baby stuff and she's like, that's supposed to be my baby. That's supposed to be my baby. So what I'm gathering is Leslie was pregnant and she had a miscarriage and now she's taking it out on Fatima because she feels like she was supposed to have. She feels like Fatima has everything that she was supposed to have. The baby, a man, a nice house, a nice car, and everything. But Leslie's dumb and deranged for even going on with the plan of her acting like Fatima just because Malachi was in love with her. That just shows how desperate Leslie is to get a man. So Fatima goes back into the room with Angela and she lets them know everything that's going on about how Leslie's broken into the house. And Angela's like, that's when Angela's like, I'm glad I'm in here to see the drama. And that's when she gets overexcited. And then she starts feeling pain and Bryce and Fatima are like, are you okay? Angela's like, yeah, I just got a little too turned up. Bryce is like, don't worry about it. I can turn up for you. And that's when he starts dancing. And I'm like, Bryce, you have no rhythm at all. Bryce is like, did this make you feel better? Angela's like, not really. Oh, in the parking lot, Nate, Tony, and Zach are there. And they're looking at the cameras. And Nate is like, she has all her weapons. Zach is like, I don't care. Zach plainly says, when I get a hold of her, it's over for her. So Zach tries to go get in the car. And Nate and Tony are still looking at the cameras. And Nate's like, she's destroying her. So they rush home. And they start looking in the house trying to see if Leslie's there. And They're like, she's gone. She didn't even take the weapons. So Zach is like, hold on. She might be upstairs. So Zach goes upstairs. He sees that the baby's room is messed up. So he comes downstairs and he tells Nathan and Tony. And they're like, that's some crazy stuff. I don't even think y'all know the lengths that Leslie will go to ruin Fatima's life. But as they're talking, they hear doors outside and they're like, you hear that? He opens the door to see what's going on. And he sees Deja fighting Leslie. And he's like, Deja's beating her up too, and I'm like, I know that's right. It seems like Zach's plan worked quicker than he thought it would. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye.